Started with the Frisbee pie tins that was used to make pies somewhere near Princeton University. Students worked at the pie factory. They probably got their hands on the pie tins and they threw them around.
Started with throwing at objects in the park.
Eventually they threw at trees and closest to this and close to that, made a little course, made a little game.
There wasn't the glorified baskets that we have now. It was point to point, you know, like you would do in your backyard or something.
Ed Hedrick was the person who developed the sport of disc golf.
Started with Steady Ed Hedrick out in Oak Grove, California, is where the actual first course went in.
Basically, his thing was he was just enamored by the sport. Ed Hedrick was just enamored by the sport. He developed the first basket, as we call them. That's the chain mail style basket with the falling chains that we all use to this day.
Ed Hedrick evolved that into first just like a few chains across, and then eventually elevated it to where there was a wired assembly basket.
He had to find a way to legitimize it. Eventually, he created the PDGA, which we all know is the Professional Disc Golf Association.
He kind of turned it over to the PDGA, and then Ed went into RDG, Recreational Disc Golf Association, to try to keep going with what he wanted it to be.
PDGA is the Professional Disc Golf Association, and that is our organized affiliation that does tournaments not only here in the United States, but also worldwide.
In 2002, Ed was actually at the Amateur World Championships, if I remember correctly, and he had a stroke. Within a few weeks after that, he passed away in his sleep. But he told his wife and his son many, many times before this that when he passes away, he wants to be cremated, and then he wants the ashes to be mixed in with a set of discs. And they poured his ashes on video right there into the mix, and then they went outside and they started throwing the discs. Started throwing the discs with his ashes in it. It's unique, it's interesting, it's not something that you typically see from people.
My brother-in-law, he's the one that got me. Hey, a bunch of friends are going out disc golfing out in your neck of the woods. Why don't you come along? So I went along.
A friend of my mom's took me when I was probably 10 or 12, took us out to Sioux Passage Park, just gave us all a disc and said, let's go. And so we were just running around the hills, throwing our Frisbees.
I think I was like 2. I'm one of the youngest members of the club. I just like to play along with my dad.
My brother's 15 months younger than me. We were always competitive, and he said, you should come out and play some disc golf with me. So, I don't know, I wasn't very good.
I went to St. Thomas More and started playing sports up there, and as soon as I started going up there in '75, they were playing Frisbee golf. And so I started playing like immediately.
In 2008, the economy crashed, and I got laid off work. I was working outside as a roofer, and I wanted to stay in shape. And I actually went to Quail Ridge Park, started running on the trails, seen a guy on hole 9 to be exact, and asked, what is this game? I see all kinds of people out here, what is it? He told me about it, told me what it was, and I played every day after that for probably at least a year.
I literally, just out of the complete blue, was told by a couple of friends, hey, we're gonna go play this thing called disc golf. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, what is disc golf?
My dad started playing with a bunch of friends with it. I just kind of got sucked into it, and that's like the only sport I ever play now, because that's the only sport I'm good at.
It was probably about when I was 6. I learned from my dad.
I started walking about 1.5 years ago. I needed to lose some weight and exercise and walk through Fort Zumwalt Park and saw some guys throwing some Frisbees around. I figured, well, I'd like to try that. I used to throw Frisbees around. I tried it and got hooked.
My husband actually got me into it. It was kind of a together time thing, and I just grew to enjoy the sport and love the sport.
My buddy David, who I worked with, had said, we started playing disc golf, and I was a little, skeptical, like just throwing Frisbees, and I trusted him, so they loaned me a couple discs, and it was with a couple other guys that I worked with. And I go to throw out like it's a regular Frisbee, and you can just flicker on out there, and it just kind of sails up and falls down.
First time kind of sucked because I didn't understand what I was doing. I didn't understand how it worked, how to throw the Frisbee.
We had no idea what we were doing, but we had a blast.
I mean, everyone grows up playing Frisbee just a little bit. It was totally different. To slow down, wind up, think what you're gonna do, process. Within an hour and a half of playing, I was hooked.
I got into it a little bit more, played some more tournaments.
I started playing in a lot of tournaments and seeking advice and mentorship from a couple of other higher caliber players.
My game improved pretty quickly after that. In '86 and '87 combined, I won 13 PDJ tournaments and another probably 20 non-PDJ tournaments in St. Louis and Columbia. That got me pretty much into traveling and playing disc golf full time.
I learned I could go out there and play and be competitive and have a good time. It's free, pretty much. The cost of the game was the cost of the equipment.
Started going to the course every day and just playing. And I found some people that I played with every day.
The St. Charles County Disc Golf Club is based out of St. Charles County, but we also go into Lincoln County.
We have a relationship with the St. Louis Club. They were basically the umbrella to all the smaller clubs that have popped up in the St. Louis region.
St. Louis has been established for a lot longer. They were able to establish a club, supported club with money and with people being involved.
St. Louis Disc Golf Club's been around for a really long time. I think officially, I would say probably 1990 is whenever it really started getting organized. We had Hazelwood Disc Golf Course went in 1980. So the Hazelwood Disc Golf League was around there, which is probably really the foundation of the St. Louis Disc Golf Club.
They had a model in St. Louis Disc Golf Club, and I think it was a push to create a club for St. Charles County.
We at St. Louis Disc Golf Club would go out there and we would run tournaments, we would run leagues, and then they kind of started their disc golf club.
I know it was started just as a small group of 10 people and it's progressed from there. I know there was a couple people that just met before that even.
There's 60 courses in the St. Louis television market, so now there's 42,000 people in St. Louis that are playing disc golf.
Just in the St. Louis region, we have St. Louis, St. Charles.
There's a small group in Alton,
Jefferson County.
There's just a local group called the Godfathers Disc Golf.
And Southern Illinois.
We're all trying to make disc golf #1 everywhere, so we all have a common denominator of why we're here. It's all about, the love of it.
Disc golf is a lot more interesting than walking. Walking can get a little boring.
It's not intense. We're not talking, you're doing CrossFit up in here or anything.
It's an easy way to get some good recreation time in there. It's a couple-mile walk, having a good time doing it.
Love the fact that it's an easy walk. You still get some exercise in, you get to climb up and down some hills, but I also like the challenge too.
There's no better feeling when you start playing disc golf than when you have that first really good drive, when you are letting that disc rip out of your hand and you feel that snap.
It's a challenging, fun thing to do, and you get to come out for 2 or 3 hours and play.
I almost hit it hole 13 at the ranch. I threw a shark, chained out, spit down the hill.
Being outside is probably the #1 thing.
I've always liked being outside, just in general.
I really like that's in the woods and sometimes out.
I'm an outdoors person. I work outside, so being in the woods.
With disc golf, you go through the woods or you go up and down the hills. You just kind of flow with it. You can go through nature instead of altering it too badly.
when you have your extra time and you think about what, where's your next game going to be? How am I going to throw? What disc am I going to throw? What am I in the mood for? That's when you pretty much know you're kind of hooked.
There was something about that individual sport of disc golf where it's like all the pressure's on you and all the gratifications, you get it.
You can make a whole day of it if you want, or you can make an hour and a half of it if you want, depending on the course.
Sometimes I take a bet, and for $1, I usually beat him.
His bet with his mother is that if he reads 3 advanced reading books and takes the test during the week, that he can come out and play at least a round or 2 of disc golf with the guys.
I think it's one of them things where you know somebody that plays, you tag along, and that's how you get started.
Yeah, that first day of just running at Quail Ridge and asking the guy, what is this game? No looking back from there.
It's actually exactly like golf scoring. 1 throw is 1 stroke. So it takes you 3 strokes to get it in the hole, you score it as a 3.
I got into ball golf about 3 or 4 years ago, and I played about 160 ball golf courses, and playing those ball golf courses really helped me elevate my disc golf course designing skills.
Just like regular ball golf, you have a club or a disc for every situation.
There's 3 different types of discs. There's drivers, there's mid-ranges, and there's putters.
Our drivers are the woods, and the mid-ranges are irons, and our putter is our putter. You use them same discs in the same instances if you were to compare it to ball golf.
Basically, you're going to need a driver, a putter, and a mid-range. And as you play, you'll learn what weight class disc is right for your speed of your arm and how hard you throw.
Within those alone, there's hundreds of different variations that contribute to different characteristics of all the different Frisbees.
There's so many manufacturers and so many different discs that you can buy. Probably thousands of different discs that you can choose from. You gotta find something that works for you.
I started Gateway Disc Sports in 1994. I have the capabilities to make probably over 50 different models.
Nowadays, with the explosion of disc golf, you've gotten quite a few companies that are creating different sorts of plastics and different speeds, and there's a lot of variables on what it can do in the wind, what it can't do in the wind, and what kind of plastic you have.
What we do mainly really well is we make the putters, and we use really high-end thermoplastic vulcanized rubber, and I put them together in blends that give you different flexibilities and surface complexions.
You'll learn about how thick the rims are on the disc, and that'll tell you how they're going to impact the ground and what kind of skip you might get.
The putters are for short distance or for just throwing it in the basket from, say, a range of 5 to 30 feet to 50 feet.
Your putter, just like your ball golf putter, is made to be very slow and controlled.
Putter, of course, is for shorter shots. They don't go as far. They have a little more floating type action to them.
You have a mid-range, discs, which would be like your chip-up shots, like if you had a 9-iron or a wedge.
Whereas a mid-range is going to be a little faster through the air, but it's still going to be a little more floaty towards the end of the flight.
A mid-range will throw a little bit further out for a good person's ability, maybe up to 250 to 300 feet, and then the drivers will go further than that, 300, 400, even 500 feet for some really good players.
The drivers are super fast through the air and super fast to get to the ground as well.
All discs are made with a different rim, a different edge, a different profile, and they have different numbers. And you learn what them numbers mean, and you learn out which one works for you.
There's 4 numbers that are involved. It is the speed, then you have the glide, you have the turn and the fade on it.
Different discs do different things. I mean, some turn right, some turn left, some go straight.
It's a love-hate relationship to the max. You will think that you know your disc like the back of your hand, and you'll throw it and it'll do something it's never done before.
I throw a really strong forehand, so I throw really stable, strong disc forehand, and then my backhand is still developing, so I have a whole another set of drivers in my bag for backhand, and they're usually on the lighter side and a little bit less stable.
There's many ways of throwing it. You can throw it backhand, you can throw it, they call forehand. You can throw it over your head. There's a rolling aspect you can do to it.
Tomahawk, the thumber, when they're behind a bush or behind a tree.
You need to learn the lingo, you know. What's a hyzer, what's an anhyzer, an ante, flop shot, turbo putt, roller, forehand roller, backhand roller.
You'll see tons of different players like throwing with different ways. You can grip the disc, you know, any number of ways. I think I use what they call a power grip. It's where I use all 4 fingers. If I throw sidearm, I usually use 2 fingers. A lot of people will use 1. It's just the amount of control, I guess, people can feel that they have on their disc.
What's your arm speed? How hard can you throw it? How hard can you throw it and stay consistent?
It's whatever feels comfortable to you, whatever feels natural, and then that becomes your predominant way of throwing. You build from there and you learn which works best for you, and then you learn them other techniques of throwing it as you progress in the game.
The St. Charles County Parks and Recreation Department has a wonderful rapport and a great healthy relationship with the disc golf community. It's not just once in a while we'll see them, hey, how you doing? We work with them throughout the year, and we're grateful and very proud of that relationship.
You can't grow the sport without that kind of partnership. They pretty much essentially provide the canvas and we provide the people to paint it.
Well, we work with the St. Charles County Parks Department. We have a guy named Tim Wygard. He works really closely with them, and they respect him very much because they know what he's looking out for the Parks Department and the golf club at the same time.
Everybody I know that plays disc golf has the responsibility to not litter anywhere on the course or in the park, and if they have the available space to pick up any trash that they do find, even though it's not theirs.
Our relation with the St. Charles County Parks Department is outstanding. Anytime we go to them about any issue we have with our courses or want to approach them about getting a new course, and they're always open to our ideas.
Our volunteers are our greatest gift, and the disc golf community has been an exceptional gift to us.
We keep up and prevent graffiti, destruction of trees and property, and pick up the trash.
They are always there when we need them. We can count on them. They've helped us in the design and development phase of some of our wonderful disc golf courses throughout our regional park system.
When I get an opportunity to help a parks department put a Frisbee golf course in, I do everything I possibly can to find a tract of land that they have that can be allocated for disc golf instead of trying to cohabitate amongst walking trails.
We look after the park because we value the opportunity to go play.
They provide a lot of opportunities for us as far as utility use and premise. A lot of it too is they can provide a little bit of advertisement, if you will, and that's good for them and good for us, obviously.
They're always helping with mulching our tee boxes. They're very good about closing the courses for when we need it and informing the public about that. Our club, I know, has donated over 500 hours the last 3 years and upwards of $3,000 plus to the courses.
Pick up trash as we go, build bridges to make it safer for people to cross through, or rock bridges, or have the Boy Scouts come out and recruit people to, help build things.
We've actually gotten an award, I know, of 3 years consecutive for volunteer for the hours that we put in.
They've been recognized numerous times at our annual volunteer recognition night. They've helped us in so many ways, put their sweat equity into making these disc golf courses the best they can be.
I think anything we can do to impact the community as a whole is a good thing.
So it is a great relationship that we have and we've built, and I can only see it getting better.
You know, whether it's 102 degrees outside or 32 degrees, you're going to find a group of disc golfers playing in one of our parks.
I've played a couple of winter events, played one in the snow. That was a little rough on me with my age and arthritis.
For the avid disc golfer, there really is no season. It's all year.
5 below, bundled up, and we're out there, and generally it doesn't matter. It's the love of the game.
We do the random draw doubles at El Shaddai Ranch on Sunday mornings, and you might get 15 or 20 guys that plays in 4 to 6 inches of snow out there at 20 degrees.
And there's nothing that stops us. Weather don't stop disc golfers.
There's tournaments going on all year round. The sport never stops.
If you got the addiction and the diehardness, there's no weather that stops. This year I actually played in -24 wind chill in Michigan. If you really want to go and play, you're going to go and play.
I will play in 0 degrees, or I will play in 115 degrees.
In the wintertime, we do an ice bowl series. We take in canned goods.
Goes towards local food bank. I know this past year we had 132 people, and we were the 3rd in the nation in cans.
A lot of people show up for that. You know, the charity part of it is big.
And we were the 9th in the nation in money raised.
I like to play glow tournaments.
The funny cliche about glow tournaments, there are no trees. Nobody sees the trees.
There's this little light you tape it on, and then you just hit a button. It just puts a red or green light on it.
You usually have an LCD or a glow stick on top of your disc, so hopefully you can find it.
There's no funner time than playing in the night, lighting up the baskets, throwing your glow disc, putting the glow lights on there, and hitting a tree that you didn't even know was there.
For me, it's not about the competition in that one. It's kind of just more about getting together with your friends. Have fun. Throw your frisbees into the trees in the dark, you know, why not?
That's a great advantage over playing ball golf as well, because certain times of the year you can't even play ball golf. Disc golf affords you all those options.
It doesn't surprise me that girls actually play it, because disc golf thing is for everyone.
Everybody's equal. There's not that superiority complex that you can sometimes find in some of the bigger sports. I don't find that it's daunting in that way.
The guys are always really supportive of all the female players in the club. We're always looking for new people and new female players to come and join.
I went to Girl Scout camp. My mom brought out the disc golf basket and some discs, so I taught my friends how to do it.
When you do good and you can show up all the men, and you're just like, yes.
There are chicks out there that are better than them. They can outdrive them and they can outputt them, but it's all for the fun of the game.
All the women are happy to be playing with women.
We're all in the same boat, and we're all just trying to, everyone in general is just trying to grow the sport.
It's for the love of the game. If you happen to have a good round and you have the best round that you got, then everybody's happy for you. If you have a crappy round, they usually patting you on the back and telling you it's okay until you go on to the next game.
If you're the only girl player, bring a friend, bring someone else to come and play with you. Bring out your daughter and bring out your best friend, bring out your mom.
You can pick up and play around with a brand new person, help them along the way.
Until I got my dad involved and my brothers.
It's brought me and my brother closer, and I think that that's another aspect of disc golf that's really important. Like, I think there's a camaraderie.
Or you can play competitively with someone who's at your level, or maybe somebody who is, a little bit more, and push yourself to be as good as them.
My children and grandson live up in the Chicago area. I go to Chicago. My grandson and I have to go check out the disc golf course in the Chicago area.
It's a nice way to get out and enjoy each other, enjoy the game. So that just happens to be the way that we spend time together, getting up early morning and going together and creating that time.
Disc golfing and the tournaments we go to, that's like major family bonding time. With our busy schedules, it's really hard to do anything with family anymore. But disc golf is one of the places where we can just play around and be a family for once.
Been playing with a kid that's been playing for 4 years, and he's 7 and can throw a disc 250 feet consistently.
This is not just a sport for a bunch of guys hanging out that just want to, get away from their wives. There's a bunch of women that play. There's kids like Dylan Galamich.
I want to get better at disc golf by watching my dad and my uncle.
Going out and playing a 3-hour round of disc golf and being able to take all 3 of my boys, it's great for me because it's something that we share and we can do together.
It's a broad range of people and they come from all walks of life.
Once they make their way to the disc golf course, they're disc golfers. Whether they have a $200,000 a year job or they're like, living in their parents' basement and they're 40 years old, they're still a disc golfer.
You got 60, 70-year-old guys who want to come play out and they play in league.
He said to me, Grandpa, isn't this the best time ever? And I was kind of thinking, yeah, it is. It is the best time ever.
Anybody can play it. The guy that sits at the desk and types all day, the guy that works at the steel plant, or the girl that checks you out at the grocery store, they can all play this game and they can all be good at this game.
Social media for disc golf in general, just on Facebook. I mean, there's hundreds of pages.
Every day, probably 10 people going, hey, I'm going to Quail Ridge today. You want to join? Anybody want to join?
There are a lot of different disc golf groups on Facebook.
Whatever city that you're in, they have a page now on Facebook. They might have a Twitter. They might have an Instagram. It doesn't matter what it is.
I think social media has really blown up not only the St. Charles area, but has blown it up worldwide.
I played with women or men on a card, and they're my Facebook friend the next day.
So it's kind of it's a tool for everybody to get together and do the same thing.
The ability to expand the promotions of this sport has jumped exponential.
I wasn't even on Facebook when I started playing disc golf. So my only rounds were knowing when people were going to be there, or that text message between, just a couple people.
It's a lot easier to get your events out there and let people know that you're having an event. You can get an idea of how many people are coming to your event.
Post the scores of the winning teams and what the payout is.
Now, you can find it on your Facebook page daily. You can find it on YouTube daily. You can just see it anytime you want to, and it's a great thing.
It's a me now, what have you done for me lately, social media world. You have to be relevant constantly.
I think it's greatly impacted the sport. ESPN is going to televise events. Does that happen if there's not a whole bunch of videos going up on social media of, hey, that guy just threw a hole in one, check this out?
It's also available as a marketplace. People can buy and sell discs. That's something that in the past just wasn't there.
The disc selling business has blossomed because of Facebook. I mean, I buy disc and disc and disc because of Facebook.
You play disc golf and I play disc golf. It's automatic bond there.
I have 500 disc golf friends that I've never met face to face, but I know I could post to someone in California and probably have a couch to sleep on if I was to go play a disc golf tournament there.
Even though it's an individual sport, right, you really feel like you're part of something that's bigger than you.
We've played in now Michigan, Wisconsin.
I've played in Colorado, I've played in Illinois.
Minnesota.
Evansville people, I can show up there and they know me by name now. They remember them faces that come out of town that support them.
Florida, Tennessee, I've played lots of different places.
We're playing in Emporia. Emporia is amazing. They have a great disc golf community up there.
One of the best places to travel is the Glassblow in Kansas. Everybody treats you like you always are there. If you're a disc golfer, you belong.
I'd like us to get to a point where we're like the Emporia, Kansas for the Glassblow Open. I'd like us to be that. That's, the biggest you can get.
I've been to many tournaments and not known a single person that was going to be there, and it ended up having a great time. They always look for you to come back.
Now, as we move into the later part of this decade, we're starting to see educational institutions get involved. Like, you got colleges around the United States of America. They're putting disc golf courses up on their college campuses. Some colleges, junior colleges as well as major level colleges, are teaching classes.
So I currently teach a disc golf class at St. Charles Community College. They created a 9-hole course. It's a 9-hole course with 2 different sets of tees. Fall, I taught 4 classes. That foundation will start them on a good basic foundation so that they can actually pass it along to everybody else.
Everybody likes to see the sport prosper and grow, and the only way to do that is to grow it with young talent.
It's a sport for anybody. And I think that can start in schools, making it like an official club or, you know, an official sport, just like you have golf or you have volleyball.
I'm seeing more and more opportunities popping up every single day online.
A disc golf course is perfect. It's the perfect amenity in our parks.
Disc golf can be every bit of what those sports can be.
I'm just seeing more camaraderie. I'm seeing more people getting together, pushing out there and talking about it.
They are so dedicated and compassionate about their sport.
The relationship you have with the sport, but it also brings you into a whole new community.
Heck, you can even play out of my bag. I'll let you throw some of my stuff and I'll even show you what they do for me. And
People that I play poker with regularly that you know, I never would have met if I didn't play disc golf.
you can try them out and I can point you in the right direction.
I just have fun and play disc golf.
We always want to give kids, you know, something to be, you know, positive for and something that they can, you know, feel part of, that they're successful at. And why not disc golf?
It's a fun challenge. I want to get better. I want to throw it a little bit further. I want to get more birdies. I want to be able to beat some of these young guys I've been running into out there.
And I've competed in some big tournaments. I want to win those big tournaments. That is my goal.
I myself am addicted to this game. I love it. I want to be better. I want to play with the best. I want to be the best.